This is the dress. This is for beginners, and it's gonna be step by step. So sit back, relax, and learn. I hope you already have set up your avatar, and make sure the skin offset is below 1. I like to keep it 0mm. I'm gonna start with the top design. As you know, probably every time I start with the basic block, and because this is for beginner, I'm not going to be using too much shortcuts. With the add point and split line tool, I'm going to add a point here and here. And with the edit pattern tool, I'm going to select that and this and drag it down. And this one a little bit lower. So this is going to be my neck hole. I'm going to smooth it with the edit curve point tool, and I'm going to smooth it here. So this is the armhole and this is the neck hole. And because the shoulder is kind of like this, like a ramp, so don't make this straight. So I'm going to use the edit pattern tool and drag it down. Now select that, Ctrl C and Ctrl V, copy and paste, and in the 3D window, right click and flip normal. So you can see in the 2D window it just flipped, and place it there. Select both and hit Ctrl D to symmetric paste like that. It's very simple. Now sew it with the segment sewing tool. The front, you can sew it in the 3D window, in the back, on the shoulder, and just let it drape, and then sew the side seam, because sometimes the hands interfere with the fabrics. Alright, so this is a basic simple block, and it just took like 2 minutes or something. Now I'm gonna modify it such a way so I can make this top, and it's really amazing because it has ruffles, and I love ruffles. Anyway, try to make this a little bit baggy because I love a little bit baggy kind of top for this video. Alright, select everything with Ctrl A, and with the transform pattern tool just drag it like this. You have to check it. You have to check your fabric though. If it is too loose, make it a little bit tighter. You have to make it a little bit balanced out. Don't make it too tight, don't make it too loose. For this top design, this and this holes don't matter too much. Why? Because they are hidden underneath the shoulder ruffle. Still, I need to fix a little bit. Start with the armhole. So use edit pattern tool and just drag to select both and drag it up. And guys, you have to check it your dress because it might be different than me. With the edit curve point, you can curve it as well as add curve point. So it's really amazing tool. So use it often. Now just place it so it just snaps. You can see this area, it needs to be very smooth. Otherwise you will have this pointy thingy. It doesn't matter here on this top, but it is a good practice to make it smoother. Just bring them towards this point and smooth this a little bit. I might make this a bit tighter, a little bit though, like this. And the back, fix it a little bit like this. So I just used two tools. One is edit curve and edit pattern to edit this, and another is edit curvature to curve this curve point. That's simple. As you can see here, it's kind of tight. So what you can do is you can add another curve point and just drag it a bit like this. So it just will be a bit better. Select these two segments, right click, match up to start. So it will just snap here, and you can just drag and you can adjust this area. It's really faster, believe me. And make sure this line should be a bit smoother. And it doesn't matter because it will be hidden anyway, but still. Same thing to start, and I highly encourage you to use hotkeys. I will probably make a video of my hotkeys, but I don't think it's necessary. But let's see in the future, because with hotkeys you can make garments really fast, just really. Now I will not worry too much about this area, the neck hole, because as I said again and again, it will be cut off and it will be hidden. I'm gonna start with the sleeve. So I'm gonna start with basic rectangle, and the way I make sleeves is just add a point near about middle, edit the point, drag this point with edit point tool, this one, edit pattern, and right click, convert to curve point, like this. And with the edit curve, maybe it's edit curve point tool, just add a curve and drag it like this, and add another to make it a bit volume. Same here. You can always see the patterns, different patterns, like basic t-shirt patterns, basic sleeve patterns. Just see them and try to make them. It's more fun. I'm going to use the free sewing tool, which is here, and I'm going to sew it from this to that, and I'm going to hold shift and sew like this. It's very simple. With the edit curve point tool, with the edit sewing tool, you can see the measurements. It's minus, means it's smaller, so make it lengthier until it just match the 0.2 millimeters. Perfect. Now select this pattern, and here you can find sew arrangement point, or you can press shift F. I think it's default. Sew it and select that and hover over your mouse here and click it. It will just snap it there, and you can just turn it off. Just make it a bit closer and simulate, of course, and sew it here like that. I did segment sewing tool, segment, sew there. Sleeve can be tough, but it's not tough. Yeah, you can adjust it by seeing this area. Again, it will be another video when I will make pattern making videos in future. I will talk in details about that, but now let's just leave it like this. This is the basic sleeve, and I'm going to select that, Control D to symmetric paste, and here just simulate. So it doesn't matter, because again it will be hidden. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut probably right about here. It's going to be tricky, but it's going to be simple. I'm going to use the internal polygon line tool and just cut it maybe around here, and just direct line that like this. This area, by the way, is this area, where you want to make the ruffles. Maybe here seems fine. You can pull it up, you can pull it down. It's just a matter of preference. Now when you drag a line like this, now select this line, right click and cut. Now when you cut a line, if it is already sewn, the sewing will also be cut. So this is the benefit. So here, as you can see, this sewing is cut like this. On the back, I'm gonna drag a line like this, probably here is okay, I guess, and again cut, right click and cut. And you can just delete this because you don't need them. Now it looks kind of odd, right? Yeah, because you also need to cut on the sleeve, and because you cut here, the sleeve sewing is also cut. So as you can see here, this is the starting point of the sewing. So I'm going to add a point right about here. So right click on the sewing with the edit sewing tool, add point to pattern on start. Because it's start, so it will add a point right about here. And another here, as you can see, is the end. The long tail is the end and the short one is start. So I need a point here. That means this is the end. Right click, add point to pattern on end, and it just add 2 points like this. So I'm gonna use polygon line tool. From this point to that point, I'm gonna just add a line and then cut again and just delete. So it is just amazing, as you can see there. It's not very tight, so I'm going to make it a bit tight on the front. Not too much, but a bit tight so it will hold there. And also the back. Like this. Sleeve, I don't want that lengthy. Like this. And I'm gonna make it a bit downish so it can rest like there. This tension though you will have because of the arm position, so it's really recommended to use, like, the more A pose you have, the better the result will be. The more T pose you have, the worse result it will be. So never work T pose in Marvelous Designer. Try to use A pose or very lower A. And I'm going to make this a bit longer and maybe a little bit shorter. And I will not adjust this because I want this bit loose, so it will make this kind of amazing folds when I make the shorts. Alright, perfect. That's good. I'm gonna add shoulder ruffle. It's very simple. You just need to add an ellipse tool like this and then adjust the location of it. Maybe a proper place like this, bit bigger like that. Yep, perfect. Now select face, right click, and offset as internal line. It doesn't matter, maybe 50, and okay. Then right click and cut under this middle. So you will have a hole in the middle. Alright, quick tip. Just double select on one of the segments to select every segments when it's outside or inside. It's really better. You can even use here. It's really easy and fast. Now another quick tip, which is to use the transform point and segment tool. So if you use edit pattern tool and there is nothing, I mean, you cannot make it shorter, so use this transform points and segment tool. And if you do that with that tool, it just makes it even worse, right? Yeah. So double click in the middle to activate the pivot, and now if you scale down, boom, it's amazing. Now showing time. Freeze this top, right click and freeze. Watch carefully. With the free sewing tool, you have to sew from here like that, and when you sew it like that, just check the sewing where it's going. It's from there, and as I just roll my mouse, it just ends there. So you have to sew from here. You can see on the 2D window like this, so it just jumps from this to this. It's really amazing. So you can just check it, and like this in the front, and then again like this, and on the back. It's tricky, but it's simple. So like this, hold shift like this, like this, like this, like this, like this, and like this. Yeah, make sure every sewing threads are straight. If it's not, like if one of the sewing is reversed, it will just show you like this and it will be chaos. Just trust me. And of course simulate, so you will get amazing ruffles. About the ruffles, there are kind of some tricks, some easy tricks or some easy things you have to understand. The bigger you make this inner circle, the more gather, the more ruffle you will get. So yeah, it's anyone can know that. So I'm going to make it a bit bigger. It will be more gathered. The more means better. Yes. Now I really want to make this ruffles a bit bigger so it will hide the sleeve. So I'm going to select that with the transform point tool, just double click in the middle and then drag it up. Remember to double click, otherwise it will be really bad. And let it drip. There you go. So select everything with Alt A, Control A, and unfreeze everything, and then simulate again. So it will just release a bit of fullness there. Don't make it too, by the way. Yeah, if you get this kind of problem, it's probably the dress is not very tight. You have to make it a bit tight so it will hold the shoulder and it will not drape too much down. Yeah, it's not too much, so it's better. If you want, again, you can add elastic here, but I don't recommend it. Just make it a bit tighter, it will be fine. Let's work on the shorts. And I'm kind of bad at making pants, but I'm learning, and it's not very bad, although it's a gathered shorts. But anyway, I'm gonna add, before making shorts, first select everything and freeze it, and make sure the layer of all these patterns are -1 or below 0. And then I'm gonna add a waistband, just like this, just a single rectangle. Again, with Shift F, the arrangement point, select this waistband and click on the waist, so it will just snap there. Control D to symmetric paste and segment so front like this and back like this, and of course simulate. No, it is, I think, a bit. All right, I might want to do is I will just drag it a bit and then simulate. But I also want amazing ruffles, folds there. But guys, if you find this problem, I didn't find this here. Sometimes here, because it is not merged, this thing will look a bit odd. If it does, just right click with the edit sewing tool and merge. I'm not going to do that because it's fine. So I think I'm gonna make it a bit tighter on the back. Yeah, I think that's it. I really love these gathered folds, so it's great. I might merge this, because before merge, right click and remove linked editing and then merge it, and then delete this, because I want this as a single piece fabric. So I might make it a bit tighter. I'm just experimenting with you guys, so like that. It looks good for now. And again, freeze everything except the freeze this one also. The waistband is a bit wider. Now, to make a pants or a pattern of the pants, it's similar to the top design. Just add a rectangle, add 2 points like this, drag it down like this and also like this, and just curve it like this and make this as curve to curve point like that, and make this a bit inward and this one a bit downish, and this one probably a bit narrower and a bit of like it's a bit of smooth, and maybe like this or like this. Now this is a pants pattern. Forget about that. There is dots. Just see the silhouette of how it is looking and try to mimic that. Once you make it, Control C and Control V to copy and paste, and in 3D window, right click, flip normal, and make it on the behind the character. Just adjust this location a bit, and Control D to symmetric paste like that. So it will be a gathered shorts because it's easier. So I'm going to make this a bit wider. Should be wider than the shoulder length. Now with the segment sewing tool, just click that with holding shift, click this and click this, and probably freeze this and simulate. So yeah, there is no gather, so I'm gonna make it a bit wider because I need a lot of gatherings on that area, and it's not still. Yeah, I'm starting to see gathered a little bit, maybe a bit more. Yeah, maybe like that for now. You can adjust this if you think the pattern looks a bit weird. You can adjust those, there's nothing problem with that. You have to make this a bit wider to have gather ring. Yeah, let's see how it's looking. No, let's see. Now I'm gonna sew it, segment sew it like that and like that, and simulate to see how it's looking. First of all, it is way too downish. Pay attention on this area. Don't make this over this area. Just try to be mindful. There should be a bit of gap on this area because you will not want to wear a pant which is way too tight. Even especially on this area, it will be painful. So I'm just adjusting side to make not that fluffy looking pant. Now select sew this and sew like this. Simulate and see how it's looking now, and then I'll decide what to do. Let's make it a bit down and this one a bit down, and because it is gathered, make sure this area looks good and make sure this sewing it's good or it's same. All right, unfreeze that, simulate. Yeah, it looks kind of odd, but it will be better, trust me. I might bring this whole shots a bit down, freeze everything like that, and probably we'll just adjust a bit like that. You have to be concerned on this area when you make pants like that. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a pose, and then I'm going to add details because pose will make dress significantly better. See, I told you. Now there's one thing to consider, which is the fabric preset. I want to make this, well, let's make maybe, I don't know, maybe a stiff fabric like taffeta. If I find like this is very stiff and it will probably look odd. Let's check it. It will give you, it's just like a paper like fabric. It will look very bad. Anyway, enough joking around. I'm gonna use maybe 50 poplins. Let's add this. It's a bit lightweight, but let's see. Yeah, I think it looks good. This one is not very stiff, but it's lightweight. That's why it's just floating like that. But I like it. It's good. I mean, when I will reduce the particle distance, you will see the magic. Now let's make the waistband a bit better. You know how, if you watch my previous video. First, just merge it, and before merging, always try to remove linked editing and then merge, and just delete this one. Don't worry, the sewing will be there. This is the magic of virtual fashion. All right, right click and layer clone over, so you will have another fabric on top of it, and there's a couple of things you have to do. First, right click and remove linked editing, and then delete the sewing which comes with the edit sewing. Now segment sew top with top and bottom with bottom, and like this. Select both and decrease the collision thickness, maybe 1. 2.5 was way too high, but it depends on the, well, there will be problem, and I honestly don't know why Clothily does that. But anyway, select that. First check this fabric which layer which layer is it in is 0. So it is on top, make it 1. I really don't know why this does that. I mean, it will just freak out so much and it just ruins my happiness. Yeah. And now we can just make it 0 1 like that. Now select this 4, right click and offset as internal line, maybe 5, you can see here, or maybe 6 or 8. 8 looks good. And then sew it on top and on the bottom, and you will have an amazing stitches. You know, when you actually sew it, so it will give you the stitch. So this is the stitch. Now you will not see it until you reduce the vertical distance so much, maybe 3, and now you will see it very clearly. See, it's great, right? Yeah. Well guys, I will skip this ribbon because I will be honest, I copied this from one of the Cloth 3D's video. So you can just go and type how to make a ribbon in Cloth 3D or Morpheus Designer. It's same. It will be same, because this kind of thing I really don't like to make in virtual, because it's more hard. You know, it's not hard, but it's tricky than in real life. So I want this to be simple, the virtual fashion, not tricky. And in future, luckily, if I find way simpler, non-tricky process of making ribbons, I will show you, but not now. Go ahead and watch Cloth 3D official channel. Well, as you can see, this shorts has an interesting shape on this area, so I'm gonna make it. It just makes it amazing. So if you don't know, or if you don't find which fabric it is in the 2D window, you can always click it. It will highlight, of course, but it will also give you a blue dot in the 2D window. So it's amazingly helpful. Select that both and just drag it up like this. Don't make it too much, maybe like this, and simulate. Maybe a bit upward, like that. You can also make a smooth line, but I think the triangle shape looks just amazing. So I'm gonna make it triangle, maybe a bit upward. And it just gives you an amazing character to this dress. Now, this is tricky because the leg is so close, I cannot work properly there. Made a bit bigger by dragging it down. I think, yeah, I think that is the case. Now select that and 18. Select this, select that. With magic tool, this trace tool, right click, trace as a pattern, sew it top and bottom, and of course superimpose over, right click and superimpose under, superimpose under, reduce the collision thickness and vertical distance, and simulate and hope for the best. So yeah, now sew here and here. Make sure the sewing is not reversed. That would be another problem. Just trust me. I have faced a lot of problems because it was stupid kinda. Anyway, select this two, right click, set as internal line. Maybe 5 would be good, or 4 maybe. 4. And here also 4, and this one also 4. So the top, so the bottom, and same thing here. I forgot there. Like that. Oh, it is reversed. So select that, and reverse direction, and sew it like that. Simulate to see the finishing stitch. I'm not satisfied because it should be on top, not beneath that. So I might superimpose over, simulate. So select both this pattern and this pattern, Ctrl D to symmetric paste, and again superimpose over. So we'll have amazing finishing on this area. Yeah, like that. Don't look this area, it's just weird. Now select this top design and maybe probably 7. It depends on you and also on your hardware. There's one last trick for this amazing solder ruffles. As you can see on this area, it will need a lot of polygons because it will have the most gathering here. The rest, it doesn't need that much. So it's really not a wise decision to make entire pattern maybe 2 or 3. It will significantly slow your computer down because this fabric is really large. What I usually do here, I just select this whole segment, select this entire segment, right click, offset as internal line, maybe 50, reverse direction of course. This area will have a lot of polygons, while maybe on the 70 or a bit bigger on this area will be less, and this area not so much. And then cut and sew. Remember one thing in Marvelous Designer: when you cut and sew, this is exact same thing as it was like this. It's the same thing, so do not hesitate to cut and sew. So this part I need it to be 2 because it will give you the amazing buttery smooth look. This one maybe 5, and this one, yeah, 10 is probably okay, but I will give it 8, and simulate, and you will see amazing details on the solder ruffle because ultimately it is the focus point and it needs to be amazing. Just let it drape and see the magic. Alright, here it is. As you can see, this looks fantastic. I love it. And you can also make this pant pattern maybe a bit lower because I see a bit janky folds. I don't want them, so 5. And also here, I really don't want to see any bad folds, and simulate, so it will be a bit better. Alright, this is the final result. I hope you find this tutorial helpful. If you do, don't forget to leave a like, and also don't forget to comment. I really love them. If you have any questions related to this video, feel free to comment on YouTube, or you can personally message me on Instagram. There's a link in the description. That's it for this video, and I hope you had fun. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you in the next time. Bye.